Last week, Reverend Heather was talking to us about creation. And this week I want to talk about what things we can actually see, but really the detail of those things. So I've been looking around my garden this morning and I thought I would show you a few of those things. So I've got lots of daisies here, as you can see. If I go in really close, can you see that all the different petals, and actually what looks on the surface at the daisy as just yellow in the middle has actually got different colours. Isn't it amazing when you look really, really closely at something? And here's a dandelion that's been growing in my garden. And now it's gone to all a head of seeds. And you can see all those seeds. And you see right in the middle. And those seeds will blow away and they will become new dandelions. They're amazing, aren't they? And just look at how beautiful it is when you look really, really closely at something. Let's see what else we can find. There's my ducks. And we'll go over here and look at these roses. I love these roses. They're beautiful and they smell amazing. But can you see all the different petals? If I hold it up, you'll be able to see all the different petals curled around, and they come from a bud, and then the bud has spread out. Here's a bud just down here. You can see the bud in the middle, and then the petals are beginning to fan out around it. And right in the middle of the flowers there are more seeds or pollen, and that's what the bees and the insects will come and get, and then they take that away and they will go and pollinate other roses. They'll make other roses. What else can we see in my garden? If we go up here, we've got an apple tree. If you look really closely, you can see the apples are beginning to grow on the tree. Look, I've got lots of them on this branch. So that will be lovely when they've grown, and actually I can pick them and then eat them. I've got some more here, and I'm really lucky in my garden because if we come over here, I have got a fig tree, and look, you can see all the figs on the branches too. And if I come down here, you can see 3 figs which are just beginning to turn the right colour to tell me that they are going to be ripe really soon. So I love my fig tree. And then over here is my olive tree. I'll stand back a bit so you can see it. It's quite big now. But if I look really, really closely, I can see on the branch, I can see lots of little tiny flowers. And those little tiny flowers will become olives, and then I'll be able to have the olives to eat. So it's amazing when you look really, really closely at something. So you can stand away and see something from a distance. There's my fig tree, and you can see the figs. But when you come and you look really, really, really closely, you can see the figs on the fig tree. And even, look at this leaf. You can see the veins on the leaf, how all the water gets transported around the leaf. Isn't it amazing when you look really, really, really closely at something? I thought we could sit in the garden for our story today. It's a story called I Can See, and it's about a blind man, so someone who's not able to see, whose eyes don't work. And Jesus is worried about him, and Jesus loves him and wants to make him well, and Jesus wants to show just how powerful God is. So let's find out about this story, shall we? There you go, there's the picture. You can see Jesus in the middle touching the man on his eyes. Let's find out what happens. Jesus' friends told Jesus that there was a blind man, a man who hadn't been able to see since he was born. Can we help him? They asked Jesus. Yes, Jesus said. Let's help him. Let's show everybody just how powerful God is. With that, Jesus walked over to the man. He knelt down. He spat on the ground. He made a little mud out of the dirt and spit, and he rubbed it on the blind man's eyes. It was very messy, and you see his hands right on the eyes. Now go and wash your face, Jesus said to the man, and you will be blind no more. The man washed his face, just as Jesus said, and when he shook the water from his hair and opened his eyes, he could see. We have a question, said the people who gathered around him. Aren't you the blind man who usually goes begging for food? I am, said the man who used to be blind. And how can you see? I met a man named Jesus who rubbed mud in my eyes. The crowd was amazed. They were ready to cheer. And then someone else spoke up. Excuse me, I have a question too. This someone was a religious teacher who didn't much like Jesus. Why? Because Jesus was too popular and didn't always agree with what the other teachers said. Jesus healed you? And he did it today? The teacher asked. That's right, said the man. Well, today is the day of rest, the special day God himself set aside, the day on which no one is allowed to work. But healing is work, surely. So how can this Jesus be on God's side if he breaks God's law? I don't know, said the man, but I can see. Because a bad man made you well, said the teacher. Wait, asked someone else. How could a bad man do a good thing like this? That's what I want to know, said another. And they asked the man who used to be blind all kinds of questions. Are you really blind? Were you pretending? Who is this Jesus anyway? It was too much for the man who used to be blind. Listen, he shouted. I don't know the answers to all your questions, but I do know this. Once I was blind, and now I can see. Who but someone sent by God could do a thing like that? A little later, as the man was sitting by himself, Jesus came to see him. I know it's been a hard day, said Jesus, but I have a question too. Do you believe that God sent me? I do, said the man. I really, really do. Jesus smiled. Then, no more questions. So I've come in from the garden into my kitchen now, and our story was all about that blind man being able to see. And Jesus asked us to see really closely. He asked us to look really closely. And I thought, what could I look at in my house that had an interesting inside? And I thought, I've got some fruit and some vegetables. So I've cut some of them open. Here they are on my chopping boards. And I thought we'd have a look and see what's inside. So the first one is a melon. And I've cut it in half. You can see all of those seeds in the middle of the melon. Lots and lots and lots of seeds. And if you took them out and planted them, we might be able to grow a melon plant. Probably wouldn't get any fruit because our country isn't hot enough. But we could see. You could see what could grow. And then I've got a pepper. And these seeds are much smaller than the melon seeds. I have to go a bit closer to the camera. There you go. Can you see them inside the pepper? And if we planted those, we would get a pepper plant. And peppers come in all sorts of different colours, reds and oranges and greens. They're great in curries or in stews. So that's my pepper. What else have I got here? I've got an apple as well, which I've cut in half. And can you see the pips in the middle? So again, if we planted the pips, we could grow an apple tree. That's what my apple tree grew from in my garden. And then we would have apples to eat. And then an orange. And you can see the pips right in the middle. And again, if you planted the pips, they would grow into an orange tree. Probably not in this country because it's not hot enough, but they'd grow in other countries. And my last fruit is a strawberry. Now, strawberries are a little bit different because their seeds are not on the inside. Can you see it's just a little bit empty? They're all on the outside. You can see lots of little seeds all on the outside. So maybe you could have a look in your kitchen and see if you've got any fruit or vegetables that you could cut open and just have a look at and see if you can see the seeds inside. Because Jesus in that story is trying to tell us that it's the stuff that's inside us that also helps us to see properly. And then maybe when you've cut the fruit open, you could see if you could make a picture. I've made one already here, just some strawberry prints and an apple print and a peppers printed on that side. And maybe you could do the same. I've just got some plates of paint that you might have at home and my fruit and a piece of paper, and I've made that picture. So see if you could make a picture, and maybe you could take a picture of it and send it to us, or just pop it up in your window to remind you to look really carefully at things. Jesus wants everybody to know they're loved. He wants all of us to love everyone else. And he wants us to use our hearts, which are like the seeds inside us, to spread love and hope and to grow good things in the world. So we're going to sing a song now, and it's called Jesus Loves Me, This I Know.
Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong, they are weak but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me, oh yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me, for the Bible tells me so. Jesus, take this heart of mine, make it pure and holy thine. On the cross you died for me, I will try to live for thee. Yes, Jesus loves me, oh yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me, for the Bible tells me so. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong, they are weak but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me, oh yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me, for the Bible tells me so. The Bible tells me so. The Bible tells me